The EU's Common Agricultural Policy began operating in 1962 to achieve food security on the continent. Well, 50 years later, because the CAP, as it's known, swallows almost 40% of the EU budget, this policy is proving increasingly controversial.
The policy was so successful at increasing production that by the 1980s, the problem was not too little food, but far too much.
The Common Agricultural Policy in the European Union is not about farmers. It's about food and it's about nutrition. It's about healthy living.
Common agricultural policy has been a disaster for Africa in particular and the developing world more widely.
If you got rid of the common agricultural policy, you would lead to higher food prices by eliminating farmers.
CAP. We see that food security is extremely important. We can compare with energy security when we see when other countries can impede a certain power on Europe because we are very vulnerable and we have to import both gas and oil. Now, if we're not able to produce the food ourselves, somebody else can take this power.
The bigger you are, the more land you have, the more money you get.
And in Northern Europe, many countries are not in favor of a good CAP. They think food issues is not so important and budget is more important.
The long-term trend is clear. Subsidies are moving away from food production and more into stewardship of the countryside, which it's argued is good for all of us.
The United Nations does predict that the food demand will increase by 70% in 2050, so almost doubling. The problem is that resources to produce all the food become scarcer, and also the area of farmland will not grow that much, only maybe with 4%. So we need a more innovative agriculture that's more productive.
It might be better to have a system where you get paid according to how much good you do, how much land conservation you do, what you're doing with your woodlands, your wetlands, that kind of thing. The things that the public values, that's where we should be putting the money, not just handing it out to people on the basis of how much land they own.